great desideratum of modern democracy is that it must be participatory and undergirded by some non-negotiable fundamentals, notably the power of the people to choose their leaders, as well as majority rule and minority rights. I believe that Nigeria can still come back alive. I believe that if we work together as a people, if our communications begin to go in the right direction, it is possible to begin to rebuild trust, and Nigeria can yet be great.
Just in accordance with those words, Governor Ifeanyi OKOWA, 6.5 years ago, unfolded a vision to build a new Delta where dreamers and vision bearers could realize their potentials.
If you have good governance, then of course the level of distrust within our society will be very low. In the example of Governor OKOWA, a man who is not afraid of intellectual discourse and who leads by example. His actual performance in the state is not one of the controversial governors, and there is clear evidence that the people of Delta State are very pleased with him in terms of the many strides that he has made with regard to service delivery, service provision in Delta State. The people of Delta State are lucky.
Through his 5-point agenda codenamed SMART, Governor Ifeanyi OKOWA has worked very closely with the legislature and the judiciary to evolve sound governance principles that promote the sustenance of the rule of law.
Delta State is one of the few states in Nigeria that has become reference points whenever we talk of financial autonomy for state legislature and judiciary. Your Excellency, you deserve a rousing applause.
The Delta State governor has already taken a cue the relationship between the various arms of government vis-a-vis the independence of the legislatures and the judiciary. If all other states, governors and executives are following what we have started in Delta, there will be no friction, there will be no hue and cries all over the federations.
As a leader with vast knowledge and experience in leadership, Governor Ifeanyi OKOWA's adherence to the cardinal principle of separation of powers has led to the cordial relationship among the three arms of government. Little wonder, executive bills sent to the State House of Assembly sail through with ease.
Those against Senate, the ayes have it.
When Senator Dr. Ifeanyi OKOWA came into government, we count ourselves very lucky because he was also a legislator. We know that Deltans have been yearning for good governance, and today the manifestation is everywhere in terms of road infrastructure, in terms of healthcare delivery, in terms of educational system, in terms of job creation. So we have done more than what Deltans were actually expecting us to do.
OKOWA, I like his political lifestyle. It's one that knows where it pays us. It's one that we will sit down and know what is happening in the whole state, and we will solve our problem one after the other.
For more than 2 years now, the State House of Assembly has been enjoying full autonomy, even while a number of states in the Federation are yet to come to terms with the principles of such autonomy.
Delta State is one of the first states to implement financial autonomy for the legislature with the enactment of the Delta State House of Assembly Fund Management Law 2019. Suffice it to say that owing to the excellent executive-legislature relationship, we have been able to achieve many of our goals and some instances surpassing them.
Within the limits of the allocations that come, the House is at liberty to manage our finances. Bureaucracy has been reduced drastically. What that translates into is that work is smoother, work is quicker, and there are more deliverables than would have been.
Governor OKOWA has continued to support the State House of Assembly to embark on capacity building programs for the continuous development of members and all categories of staff that work in the Assembly.
We are here to develop a work plan for the House to position it as an international legislative house.
If the staff are better equipped, our work will be faster, our work will be more intentional, more conscientious, so that implementation will be seamless by the executive.
Not too long ago, the Delta State House of Assembly hosted the leadership of other 35 states of the Federation.
The end of the technical section and the meeting of the speakers, the cordial relationship and the cooperation between the executive and the legislature will be further strengthened.
The convergence of the Conference of Speakers of States Assemblies in Asaba, the Delta State capital, provided lawmakers in Delta State yet another golden opportunity to peep into the inner workings of sister legislative houses.
The Speakers Conference is a gathering of all the speakers in Nigeria. It is aimed at bringing the speakers together, ensuring the unity, and of course it also brings them together to look at issues as it affects Nigeria as a country.
It is a very welcome and wonderful event that we have attended so many conference of speakers, but this one is actually, I would call it as a special one. I am very much impressed. We cannot even compare your development with that of the North. I really appreciate the governor.
Just like the legislature, the judiciary has also been accorded its full autonomy in line with the law. This has worked in the best interest of good governance.
The judiciary now can deliver judgments without interruption from any other arm of government, and apart from that, the judiciary can also undertake projects, and then also the welfare of judges, magistrates and judicial officers without having recourse to first getting approval from the executive arm.
Judiciary in Delta State is one of the best. Governor OKOWA is supporting everybody. He's one of the most intelligent governors I've ever seen. Judiciary that do what? Road is attended to, education is attended to, women affairs is doing his best. He's not somebody who favor one group or one sector above or against the other.
In reiterating the commitment to partnering with the judiciary to ensure speedy dispensation of justice, Governor OKOWA has ensured the appointment of credible and experienced judges who will give judgments without fear or favor.
Do solemnly swear that I will be faithful.
The swearing-in of Justice Theresa Diaye as the Chief Judge of the state and Justice Patience Elumeze as the President of the Customary Court of Appeal, two qualified females to head both tiers of the judiciary in the state, loudly attest to Governor OKOWA's respect for the rule of law.
Your Excellency, having subscribed to the oath of office, we pledge to follow it to the letter of the law. And we also seek the cooperation of Your Excellency and the executive arm and the legislative arm, because without that support and encouragement, nothing will work. Thank you.
Your new positions require a lot of patience, resourcefulness, dexterity to manage the demands and pressures on your time and space. I urge you to continue to promote, preserve, and protect the principles of natural justice, fair hearing, equity, and good conscience, which are the pillars upon which the judiciary rests.
The very healthy partnership between the executive and the state judiciary could be seen even in the constant construction of conducive court buildings and judges' quarters and the regular renovation of existing court buildings in the state.
This building is the Delta State High Court. It has 6 main courts, a number of offices and a main auditorium hall. We're about 65% complete now.
Governor OKOWA, he will kick-start the project because the project was almost moribund before he came into power. This project was actually awarded 2014, but nothing much happened. But since he came into power, he gave us a leverage, and that's where we are.
Smart Delta.
Bros, I agree to. Happen of this. Now, what did they build for you?
You know they this time. Now flyover now, roundabout. You see, Governor OKOWA want make sure say we could get smooth drive for every area for Delta State, so that even people when they be say that they go Onitsha or maybe they road they go Lagos, Benin or Warri, you know go the experience go slow for this Coca area. Brother, what do you think?
Governor OKOWA they walk oh.
Now today you know.
It dey very clear say this 2022 will not enter so could be another harvest of projects for this OKOWA government.
Now Warri are the conference so Governor OKOWA they build long stretch bridge. They call them Trans-Warri Bridge.
The bridge they lead to Ode Chekiri. The bridge they link to several communities. Even as me and you they talk so, construction of 19 bridges they in progress, and some of them are already completed.
If we begin the count, ongoing projects when the OKOWA government they do, they go break. We still they talk. Technical colleges, newly awarded road projects.
You know say they go break and you won't start to the count. Give me food, make I shop.
Governor OKOWA is still working.
Thanks to Governor OKOWA.
Smart Delta.
John! Morning, sir. Open out this morning, 873 minutes. Don't make complaints, sir.
The state chief judge, Theresa Diaye, who is already making impact in the judiciary, recently commenced the statutory quarterly visits of correctional centers across the state. In the week of this exercise for the year 2022, a total of 9 inmates who were awaiting trial in the Medium Security Custodial Center in Okere, Warri, based on legal advice of the Director of Prosecution, were discharged.
The powers of the Chief Judge in this exercise is circumscribed by the provision of the Criminal Justice Release from Custody Special Provisions Act. The Chief Judge is to ensure or to release people where detention is manifestly or seen to be manifestly unlawful, and where the person detained has been in custody, whether on remand or otherwise, for a period longer than the maximum period of imprisonment which the person detained could have served had he been convicted of the offense in respect of which he was detained.
To further enshrine the rule of law in Delta State, the Chief Judge and Attorney General of Delta State embarked on prison visits to review files and perhaps grant pardon to inmates who have no case to answer. This protects the citizens against miscarriage of justice and also serve as a way to decongest the penitentiary centers in Delta State. Watch this.
When you make sure the law and find you, I have released you because you've been in custody since
Jubilation rented the air as inmates expressed gratitude to God and thanks to Justice Theresa Diaye, who ordered their release.
Thank you, Father, for I put my trust in you and did not fail me.
Since 2018, I have not been going to court. I don't know what happened. So God sent Mama CJ to come and set me free. God bless Mama CJ. Thank you, ma.
We are to the work now. Then I see people they run, I begin they run, and they carry me because of the Curtis boys. They worry the area. They arrest me since on the 11 August 2017. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Thank you for not putting me to shame.
Justice Theresa Diaye, who was accompanied by the state's Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice Isaiah Bozimo Esquire and other principal officers of the Justice Ministry, treated 531 other awaiting trial cases.
Thank you, Jesus. Jesus, I thank you. Jesus, I thank you.
In an interview with Smart Delta crew, the Attorney General of the state, Isaiah Bozimo Esquire, stated steps the state government has taken to bring justice closer to the common man. Take a listen.
The Chief Judge is mandated by statute to pay a visit to each of the correctional centers in the state every quarter. But I thought it was very important that I be here today. Reason being that we are embarking on quite extensive reform of the criminal justice process. So it's important to see firsthand where the shortcomings are so we can address them, whether that be by legislation or whether that be by a change in the administrative process through which we do things. So it's very important that we see these things firsthand and translate that into meaningful reform.
The state government has continued to assist the Nigerian Correctional Service to improve on the conditions of the custodial centers. Besides the many interventions of the state governments to improve the correctional centers, the state's First Lady, Dame Edith OKOWA, through the instrumentality of her pet project, the O5 Initiative, has also made prison visitation and provision of items that meet the needs of inmates a major focus of our program.
She's a mother of the universe. She's kind to the inmates. She caters for the less privileged. In short, we are always happy when it comes to a period like this. Not only that, she used to supply drugs through her O5 initiative.
The good governance philosophy in Delta State has so far strengthened decision-making as it encourages participatory governance that enables citizens to directly or indirectly have a voice in the decision-making process. This has continually promoted accountability, transparency, efficiency, and the rule of law at all levels. The conscious efforts towards sustaining the participatory governance approach led to Delta State's 2022 Citizens Budget Engagement Meeting. During these interactions, the policy thrust of the state government were highlighted, and citizens and stakeholders were involved in the conceptualization stage, thus eliciting suggestions and recommendations on critical projects and programs.
It's a very good thing that we are brought in and making suggestions because government does not know everything. We hear more things than they hear. It's an opportunity for us to tell them what they are doing wrong, and also opportunity for us to tell them what we want. Because when we go home now, we are going to tell our community to submit projects with them. We will not say they are likely to take care of them, but so that government will know this is what we want.
The best definition of democracy is about the people and how the people participate. So what we are doing is to indeed allow people to enjoy the dividends of democracy by getting them to participate in the governance process. So them having to come and say these are the things we need and how they can also play a role in monitoring the budget process is one thing that will make our democracy work, but not just work, but work efficiently for our people.
Before this, the Delta State government, through the use of Citizens Accountability Reports, stayed accountable to citizens, ensuring the budget consolidates the infrastructural developments each year, just as it appraises the government's performances in line with promises made. This has fostered understanding in the business of governance for all.
The government of Delta State will continue to partner with the civil society and then try to examine the public financial management strategy and principles of our state. And I think this meeting is a continuation of what we have been doing to show to us that we are transparent.
On behalf of Delta State government, we want to ensure that our citizens get to know how the state's funds are being utilized, which is the purpose of accountability.
In these difficult times, the pursuit of peace remains the cornerstone of the state's development. The OKOWA-led administration undoubtedly has fostered peace, harmony, and security in the state by constantly calming frayed nerves and stabilizing the socio-political atmosphere.
When there's peace, there can be development. The governor, he has been able to bring peace to Delta State, absolutely. Everywhere in Delta State, there's peace all over. That's the most important thing. He has done a lot of projects that has not been done in Delta State for the past 16 years. And that project is speaking for him.
The convocation of town hall meetings has strengthened unity, positive thinking, and cordial relationship between the citizenry and the authorities for the common good of all Deltans. This so far has contributed largely to the success of the state government's policies and programs.
It is our view that the following 6 demands directed to the Delta State government under the distinguished leadership of Senator Dr. Ifeanyi OKOWA will go a long way in enhancing positive reforms in the criminal justice system and in Delta State public service.
I want to thank you both sincerely from the bottom of my heart for coming out to draw the attention of government to things that were going wrong. There's going to be a complaints office. There's going to be a special security and human rights committee. I will be chair of that committee with other nominees. because we want to actually begin to build a new Nigeria together.
The traditional institution of royal fathers has been made an integral part of the OKOWA government. The Traditional Rulers Council Secretariat, built by the administration, has provided the royal fathers a world-class meeting point to contribute their quota through building bridges of peace in their domains.
We are very, very appreciative to the government for setting up this huge structure. It's a structure that where we meet, we have our secretariat very tastefully furnished. Even we have some accommodation that at the end of a day's meeting, some members of the Traditional Council can be accommodated. It's a wonderful edifice.
Governor Ifeanyi Okowa's foresight in identifying areas of need for the people stirred the creation of new Directorate of Humanitarian Services.
The governor of Delta State, Senator Dr. Ato Ifeanyi OKOWA, is a development expert. That's why he wants to know everybody in the community. That's why he wants to know what they are going through. What do you think the state can do to make you better? Anybody that wants to talk to us can come and talk to us. He wants something that will be sustainable for his administration and beyond.
Thanks to God Almighty. On behalf of the governor of Delta State, as the ministry connotes humanitarian and community services, that goes to show that the governor is passionate about the welfare of the riverine dwellers, the welfare of the downtrodden, the welfare of the less privileged, and the welfare of those that are physically challenged.
The civil service is not excluded in the scheme of affairs. The congenial and harmonious relationship between the administration and its workforce has engendered good governance. The administration, therefore, pays priority attention to workers' welfare through the implementation of policies such as the sponsoring of civil servants for trainings and even sponsorship through higher education, prompt payments of salaries and promotion.
The governor has been steadfast in terms of training. Other welfare schemes like loans, he actually gave a matching order that promotion should be as at when due to some categories of staff who had occupied the government-owned estate for several years. Overnight, they became their own landlord at knockdown prices.
In this country, OKOWA is #1 with what he has done. You see, people always say OKOWA roadmaster. They are not looking at the other areas where he has touched life. He does not play with staff salary. This is one state where salaries are not delayed. In terms of emolument, Delta State is #1.
The building of the world-class, ultra-modern secretariat has boosted the commitment of the state's civil servants to more effective service delivery.
I have not seen a project like this since my 21 years in Delta State as a civil servant. This one is too much. Our amiable governor brought Dubai to Nigeria. This is amazing.
As a true Democrat and a man who places very high value on integrity, Governor Ifeanyi Okowa has displayed remarkable resourcefulness and strong managerial acumen in ensuring that the dividends of good governance gets to all Deltans. He has, through his many ways, expressed his commitment to building a stronger and prosperous Delta. My name is Henrietta Enweraku. Thank you for watching today's episode of Smart Delta. The feedback segment.
This week, we have a question from Monica Ojonta on Instagram, and it reads, "The core essence of democracy is to bring governance closer to the people, especially at the grassroots. In what ways has the government ensured citizen participation in governance?"
Monica, thank you very much indeed for your question. I'd like to cite two examples. The first is the town hall meetings where His Excellency the Governor would discuss directly issues of public importance with the communities, with the segments with which they matter the most. Likewise, there have been regular citizen engagement fora, again discussing these issues of public importance with the communities that it impacts the most. Aside from the very top level, you will find that even the ministries have issues of direct engagement. For instance, the Ministry of Justice will be holding a stakeholder forum very shortly to discuss ways in which we can reform and update our criminal justice system. and that event is open to the public.
I want to urge all Deltans and all Nigerians and persons from across the world to continue to watch Smart Delta. They're doing so well. It's a good means of communication of what we do in Delta State. I'm quite excited that they've been getting the information out there. If you want to know a lot about what is going on in governance and development in Delta State, continue to watch Smart Delta. You will definitely be able to get all the information that you require.
Text your questions to 08121192133 or send with the hashtag #AskIt to all our social media platforms.
You better run, come to Delta State. Come and see the good things where OKOWA they do. You better run, come to Delta State. Come and see the good things where OKOWA they do. I see a job and work creation in Delta, make the youth say them highlight. OKOWA. I see good roads everywhere in Delta, make the people say them cola. Come live in Delta. Say me I say, come invest in Delta. Come explore.